A blissful day, everyone. For today's video, I will bring you to the amazing world of athletics. That's why be excited and stay tuned. Athletics is all over the world. Athletics encompassing the human competitive sports and games requiring physical skills. These are contests or competitions, which are primarily based on human physical competitions demanding the qualities of stamina, fitness, and skill. Athletics cover different types of event. Let's take a look, discover, and enjoy. Let's start with cross-country running. It's a sport in which teams and individuals run a race in open-air courses over natural terrain such as dirt or grass. Sometimes the runners are referred to as harriers. Formal cross-country competition traces its history to the 19th century and an English game called the paper chase. English schools started competing in cross-country races in 1837 and established a national championship on December 7, 1867. It was held on Wimbledon Common in southwest London. It was the first cross-country race that was considered open or could be run by anyone. Decathlon is an athletic competition lasting 2 consecutive days, in which contestants take part in the 10 track and field events. It was introduced as a 3-day event at the Olympic Games in 1912. The decathlon developed from the ancient pentathlon competition held at the ancient Greek Olympics. Pentathlon involves 5 disciplines: long jump, discus throw, javelin throw, sprint, and a wrestling match. Introduced in Olympia during 708 BC, the competition was extremely popular for many centuries. And the third one is jumping. The origin of jumping can be traced to the Olympics in ancient Greece, when athletes carried weights in each hand. Chris Owen jumped 8.13 meters in 1935, a distance that was not exceeded until 1960. And Bob Beamon flew out to 8.90 meters in the real field air of Mexico City at the 1968 Olympic Games. The jumping events are long jump, triple jump, high jump, and pole vault. Fourth is race walking. Race walking made its debut at the Olympics in 1904 at St. Louis, USA, but it was clubbed as part of the all-around championship, today's version of the decathlon. It made its debut as a standalone sport at the 1908 Games in London as a men's event featuring a 3,500 meter and a 10 miles race walk. A 10-kilometer short distance walk was introduced at the 1912 Summer Olympics in Stockholm, and the 50-kilometer long-distance event made its first appearance at the 1932 Games in Los Angeles. The 20-kilometer, the second category under the short distance, was introduced at the 1956 Olympics in Melbourne. Next is road running. The longest running race on the Olympic program, the marathon covers 26 miles, 385 yards, or 42.195 kilometers. A road race at major event, it has historically finished inside the main stadium, although there have been sitting in the center finishes at several recent international championships. Road running in athletics consists of long-distance running on road courses and involves a large number of runners. Next is running. Running was officially born as a sport in 776 BCE in ancient Greece, in the town of Olympia. The first event in the first Olympics ever held was a race. In fact, from its inception to 724 BCE, the stadium race was the only competition hosted at the Olympics. Before, the running was mainly used as something of an expedient, a tool that people possessed that allowed them to find food and avoid dangers, but it took many centuries to give running its modern forms. Next is triathlon, is an endurance multi-sport race consisting of swimming, cycling, and running over various distances. Triathletes compete for fastest overall completion time, racing each segment sequentially with the time transitioning between the disciplines included. The sport has its roots in multi-event races held in France during the 1920s, with more specified rules and races forming during the late 1970s as sports clubs and individuals developed the sports. This history has meant that variations of the sport were created and still exist. It also led to another three-stage races to use the name triathlon despite not being continuous or not consisting of swim, bike, and run elements. Triathletes train to achieve endurance, strength, speed, requiring focus, persistence, and periodized training for each of the three disciplines, as well as combination workouts and general strength conditioning. Throwing. Throwing sports or throwing games are physical human competitions where the outcome is measured by a player's ability to throw an object. The four standard throwing events were shot put, discus throw, hammer throw, and javelin throw. All involve the use of implements of various weights and shapes that are hurdled for distance. Is equestrian sports. We can trace the roots as far back as ancient Greece, where dressage was developed as a way to prepare horses for war. Horses were also involved in Olympic competitions as early as 680 BCE, when chariot races were introduced to the ancient Olympic Games. Equestrianism was introduced in 1900 Summer Olympics as an Olympic sport with jumping events. This is indoor target archery. Is a shot at 18 or 25 meters, mostly during the winter. It is a modern competition way of shooting indoors. Many stores have an indoor archery range. A typical range has targets set 20 yards or 18 meters from the shooting line, and most ranges also have targets set at closer distance for young and beginner archers. Most indoor archery ranges are considered walk-up ranges where you will stand at the designated shooting line, shoot your arrows, and wait for everyone else on the range to finish shooting their arrows. Once everybody shoots, the person supervising the range will signal that it's safe to walk up to the targets and pull out their arrows. Last but not the least, miniature golf, also known as mini golf or midget golf, is an offshoot of the sports of golf, focusing solely on the putting aspect of its parent game. The aim of the game is to score the lowest number of points. It is played on courses consisting of a series of holes similar to its parent, but characterized by their short length. The game uses artificial putting surfaces, a geometric layout often requiring non-traditional putting lines such as bunk shots, and artificial obstacles such as tunnels, tubes, ramps, moving obstacles such as windmills, and walls of concrete, metal, or fiberglass. When miniature golf retains many of these characteristics but without the use of any props or obstacle, it's purely a mini version of its parent game. And that's the end of our virtual exhibit. Hoping that you were enjoying. Thank you and God bless.